Every 60 seconds in North America, drivers cause accidents while backing up. A majority of these accidents are due to blind spots, which prevent the driver from seeing what is behind his or her vehicle. Coroner's reports show that car accidents often occur while the driver is backing up shortly after a meal. It would seem that motorists are much less alert after having eaten and are not ready to handle dangerous situations. Since the introduction of bicycle path, motorists coming out of their driveways face an even greater likelihood of getting into an accident. They must watch for moving vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, baby carriages, and inline skaters. Inline skaters in particular are not careful about watching for cars backing up. Drivers must be vigilant and make sure the roadway is clear. Backing out into traffic, moving in several directions, while dealing with blind spots and other distraction, creates an extremely hazardous situation. Backing into a parking spot immediately on arrival is an excellent way of reducing the risk of getting into an accident. Back into parking spot whenever possible and wherever it's legal to do so. That way, not only will it be easier for you to leave, but you will also be able to use available space that is tight-fitting. Backing into a parking spot permits the driver to cut angles, since the vehicle turns on its rear wheels. To back your car and avoid parking crookedly, look behind you and focus on an object that you can use as a target. Secondly, when you park, always position your car in the middle of the parking spot, making sure its sides are parallel with the lines of the parking spot. Park your vehicle as far away as possible from the cars next to yours. In some cases, backing up can prove to be more difficult or dangerous. Examples include cars with rear-end designs that prevent the driver from making an adequate assessment of the distance behind him or her. Before starting maneuver, make sure that the way is clear and that you are not blocking traffic. So really, the best time to prepare yourself to leave safely a parking location is when you arrive. At the end of a baseball game, children on bicycles as well as others on foot cross in front of cars. The driver has a clear view of what is happening around the car. The drivers are more alert when they first arrive somewhere. They have a good view of the situation because they would have had approach from afar by signaling their intention to back into a parking spot, and by bringing the car to a halt before beginning to do so, drivers attract the attention of people in the vicinity. The vehicle is in excellent position to be jump-started, serviced, or even towed away if necessary. We are ready to leave in the event of an emergency. We have more opportunities to pull into the line of traffic between two vehicles. Our headlights make us more visible than do the small lights that go on to indicate that the vehicle is in reverse. Henri Rougeau will explain the reasons that led to his housing cooperatives adopting a policy of back-in parking only.
At the housing co-op, we've been backing up to park from the very beginning. The decision was made by the board of directors following an incident that could have had very sad consequences. We have from 25 to 30 children here. So ever since, we've insisted that everyone who lives here, and even all the visitors, reverse to park. When you come out of the parking space going forward, you have a good all-around perspective, and you can see the children more easily, so it's safer. There are advantages in the winter too. The vehicles are in the right position for a boost or a tow. So for the housing co-op, reverse parking makes excellent sense.
When you are parked and you want to leave your driveway, lack of visibility is sometimes caused by a tunnel effect. This is due to things like bushes, or amount of snow, which can prevent you from obtaining a good view on either side of vehicle. The same thing can happen in a public parking lot when you park your car facing forward. Let's suppose that two vehicles have just parked on either side of your already parked car. When you begin to pull out, the tunnel effect is obvious. You are now a danger for pedestrians as well as for vehicular traffic until you have backed out to 3/4 of your vehicle's length. When a bicycle lane runs along the shoulder, motorists must pay special attention to both lanes of traffic. They must remember that there are two stops to make, one for bicycle traffic and another one for vehicle traffic. Nowadays, there are more electric cars on the road. They contribute to the continuing improvement of our environment and are increasingly more reliable, comfortable, and above all, less noisy. It's difficult for a pedestrian walking on the sidewalk to hear an electric car coming out of a driveway. That is why it's important when driving an electric vehicle to back into your driveway immediately on arrival, so that you have an unobstructed view around the car when it's time to leave again. This woman who's living near an elementary school just received her driver's license. Already she makes a practice of backing into her driveway. Why?
About 8 months ago, I started to back into my parking space. It makes it easier to see. When I come out of the parking space, I have everything in front of me. I don't have to try and watch for bicycles while backing up. There are so many small children around here that you really have to be careful.
To make sure you can drive off in perfect safety, you must of course check to see that the way is clear, but never forget safety inside the vehicle either. Always buckle children in the back seat in airbag-equipped vehicles. Michel Lefebvre of the Institut de Police de Nicolet explains why police officers prefer backup parking.
The very first week they arrive for training at the Institut Police, the recruits learn how much safer it is to back into a parking spot. The response time in an emergency is improved, and the risk of accidents that can be caused by excitement is reduced. Police officers are human beings like anyone else, and when an emergency call comes in, the adrenaline starts pumping. That makes it easier for an accident to happen if they're backing up than if they're going forward. So reverse parking is a logical choice from the safety standpoint.
Here are some examples of organizations that already use backup parking: armed forces, firefighters, police officers, paramedics, public utilities such as electricity, telephone, cable companies, and any organization with a sizable fleet of vehicles. Drivers who have already been in traffic for several minutes are more alert. The best time for backup maneuver is on arrival, when the driver is most aware of the importance of defensive driving. All it takes is a change of habits. For more details, please contact your Optimist Club.